Welcome to the Great Basin Smoke Dispersion Briefing for Wednesday, February 13th. This is Gina Palma. Over the last 2 weeks, we've seen significant precipitation in many areas of the Great Basin. And you can see the image on the right showing the well above normal precipitation over parts of the Sierra into western Nevada, and also over parts of the rest of the Great Basin. There are still some pockets below normal, especially over southeast Utah into parts of southern Nevada. Looking at the snowfall over the last 72 hours, the image on the left shows some heavy new snowfall in the Sierra into parts of Nevada, also in the higher terrain of Idaho, Utah, and Wyoming, where we've seen more than a foot of new snow. Looking at our snow depth, again, very good snow depth in the higher terrain across the Great Basin. The only areas that have a little bit less than some other areas would be parts of central and eastern Nevada. So looking at our current snowpack, all the snow we do have is near to above normal across the Great Basin, with the areas most above normal being parts of southern Utah and also into the Sierra into far western Nevada. Looking at the satellite loop from this morning, you can see a strong area of low pressure off the west coast, which is pushing plenty of moisture across the Great Basin, along with stronger winds. We will see areas of heavier rain and some snowfall across much of the western and northern part of the Great Basin today, and this will impact many areas of the Great Basin over the next couple of days. We will see several storms move across the area over the next 5 days. Now looking at the forecast weather pattern for later today, we will see again plenty of moisture move across the Great Basin, bringing some heavier precipitation, especially to western and northern areas today. This is a warmer storm, so we will have fairly high snow levels, so many of the low and mid elevations will see rainfall. Dispersion will remain poor over the northern half of the Great Basin and a little bit better down south. If we look at the transport winds, you can see gusty winds, especially in the higher terrain today, and mixing heights more in the moderate range across the Great Basin. As we move into Thursday, this first slug of moisture gets pushed eastward, affecting the eastern half of the Great Basin and southern areas, so even southern Nevada and the Arizona Strip will see some potentially heavy rain at times. The area of low pressure moves closer to the coast, bringing in some dry air and windy conditions again for western areas of the Great Basin on Thursday. Therefore, dispersion will improve more dramatically over western Nevada on Thursday, but remain low elsewhere. Looking at the transport winds, again, you can see those strong winds over the western half of the Great Basin returning on Thursday, where we'll see gusts above 40 or 45 miles per hour. Mixing heights will also improve in the west on Thursday, but still remain in the moderate range over the eastern half of the Great Basin. Looking at Friday, this is the first of our colder systems to drop south across the area, so we will see temperatures decrease more rapidly later this week, along with snow levels dropping to valley floors in the north. So we will see again that heavy rain over the next couple of days, which could cause some local flood concerns, especially ponding on roadways and some of the smaller streams. However, we will see that colder air return by Friday. Dispersion also improves in many areas on Friday, with the exception of the far eastern side of the basin. We will see stronger winds Friday push south out ahead of this next area of low pressure, mainly over the southern half of the Great Basin and potentially along the Sierra front. Mixing heights will also remain moderate to high in many areas by Friday. The clearing index for Utah shows an improving trend here as we move from Wednesday through Friday, especially as those winds really increase later this week. We will see very high clearing indices across Utah by Friday. Forecast amounts of precipitation are indicated here. You can see many areas. We'll see some heavy areas of precipitation. The next couple of days it will be high snow levels and lower elevation rain, and many will change to snow later this week. But many areas could see above a half to 3/4 of an inch in most of the valley locations. And if you look in the higher terrain of Utah, Idaho, and the Sierra, you certainly see multiple inches of total precipitation. As we move into the weekend, we'll continue to see colder areas of low pressure move across the Great Basin, bringing most precipitation to the north on Saturday and some breezy winds down south. We will see fairly good dispersion across the Great Basin, with the exception of parts of Idaho. As we move into Sunday, this low continues to track east and push further south. Therefore, we will see showers across many areas of the Great Basin, however, very cold temperatures. We may even see some snow showers again in southern areas of the Great Basin on Sunday. Dispersion will remain poor in the north and remain much higher further south. On Monday, this system finally starts to move eastward into the Rockies, so we will see some drier weather and gradually warming temperatures. However, breezy northwest winds will make those temperatures feel a little bit cooler. Dispersion will also remain fairly good over the central and southern areas of the basin, and a little bit lower as you move further north. On Tuesday, we have another system which will target mainly the northern side of the basin, so we will see some clouds and showers returning to Idaho, with drier and warmer conditions further south. Again, dispersion remains poor in the north and better over the southern half of the basin. Looking at our forecast amount of precipitation from Saturday morning through Monday morning, again, much lighter precipitation in that period than we will see over the next few days, but we will continue to see that showery nature of precipitation, so some areas may get a little bit more precipitation than others, but again, the heavier precipitation will be fairly spotty. Looking at our 8 to 14 day outlook, very cold temperatures taking us from February 20th through the 26th, so very cold temperatures really across much of the western 2/3 of the U.S. Precipitation will also remain above normal in many areas of the basin, especially over southern Nevada, the Arizona Strip, into southern Utah. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back on Friday for the latest updates.